Level up your listening with Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds and headphones with immersive sound and world-class noise cancellation for a not-so-silent night. Visit Bose.com/Spotify to shop sound that's more than a present.
Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. I'm liking this podcast stuff. I'm loving it a lot. I can really see myself like just taking this as another thing that I plan on doing with my life. Like, cause no, podcast, something that's like I've always seen, but I never really seen myself getting into them. It was like, once again, after, I'm just gonna probably just do this every episode. Shout out to my friend Angela. I feel like that, her giving me this idea and stuff to do a podcast, I feel like, she needs to be recognized. So shout out to her. But anyways, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about scary movies. Now, not the Wayans brothers, not their scary movie. No, I'm talking about scary movies where it has you looking around the corner, where you can't be outside when it's dark out. Where it's like if you see a dark alley, you're like, I don't want to look down there because I know if I see something, I'm going to be running down this street screaming. And I don't want to wake up everybody because I most likely seen a dog running across the street or a cat. Some stuff like that. That's why I'm like, when it's like daylight savings time and there's this alleyway that I gotta walk past, there was a time, and I just think that that's just a paranoia of just like scary movies and what's happening there. But fun fact about me, I'm walking down this street to go kind of like down this like road / alleyway / whatever you want to call it. But the street's lights was on. I listen to music everywhere I go. For those that just want to know that about me, I'm walking, right? And not really paying attention, and seeing my shadow behind me, or not behind me, but like on the side of me. And I don't know why, I just like, I didn't see like any other shadows besides that one, and just I thought it was somebody else. 2 seconds away from roundhouse kicking what was behind me. I was in position to like straight up swing my leg as high as I can and make sure I took out what. And the thing is, it's like, wouldn't even cross my mind, well, what if they know Kung Fu? Alright, and I'm like, I'm not saying that I know Kung Fu, but what if they are actually a fighting expert? They see my leg swinging around, all they just gotta do is grab it. Well, then at that point where it's just like, what do I do then? Like, I don't even know what I can do at that point. It's like, once they have a hold of the leg, then I'm like, well, pretty much some of my body functions have been shut down, and I don't know how to defend myself at this point, because you know more than I know. But yeah, something, and it's like, it'd been messed up if it was like an old lady, because there'd be a lot of times like it'd be like some old people walking around. What if I roundhouse kicked an old lady? Like, I can't have that in my life. Like, I'm scared, and then it's like, next thing you know, I'm filing a police report. I'm like, oh, I seen the shadow, but it's like, come on, how many times you hear about old women getting roundhouse kicked? So it's like, I'm like, no, it's like, y'all gotta believe me on this one. I thought somebody was trying to sneak up and grab me, and so I'm like, I'm a 22-year-old male. Like, why are you sneaking up and grabbing me? Like, come on now. But anyways, yeah. Scary movies, they tend to leave that paranoia in your head and stuff. Like, you can't trust anything anymore. But I'll have to say, that's like them like scary movies where they don't have like loud jump scare noises going on. Like, to me, those movies don't do it for me. No, it's movies like well, I know Annabelle Creation, they had some jump scare parts, but there are some scenes in there where I was like, yo, this was pretty scary. Then there's the one movie, Signs. That scared me when I was a kid. That movie, I can watch those movies no problem, but no, those movies, they straight put fear in my eyes. Like, I was like, it had me like looking around. There was another movie I felt like that put some fear in my eyes, but for the most part, like, those are the two movies I can think of. Hopefully I can like think of that third movie and stuff. But yeah, there's like movies like Paranormal Activities, prime example. Not saying that was a bad movie, but to me it wasn't scary. Okay, the only thing that they had like was like the loud noises and all that stuff going off. Or I don't know, like what would be another like scary? Oh, well, I know the third scary movie. It was like one of those movies that kind of left fear in my eyes. Like, man, something like this happened to me. I wouldn't have known. Like, I put myself in that situation. I did get a little scared. But The Visit. All right, I'll explain like Annabelle creation, Signs, and The Visit later on. But now I wanted to talk about like movies that's like they just don't do it for me. So. Yeah, probably Paranormal Activities, any like old school scary movie like The Exorcist. I know people are like, bro, I don't know how you can like watch that movie and not be scared. And I remember I watched a documentary on it, and they were showing like people was in the theaters like throwing up, they were having to leave. I think there was like one movie where I left and stuff out the theater because it wasn't even. I watched the movie like afterwards. But it wasn't scary. Like, that was the thing. Like, it was just all of these loud noises that kept going off. And I'm like, that's the only way that they're scaring me. Like, no, leave me in some fear. Like, this stuff ain't scary to me. But, like, all these, like, loud, like, score music going off. You know, it's like the sudden stuff. Like, that's the type of stuff where I'm like, that's just annoying after a while. Like, that's why I'm like, a movie like that where I'm like, if I sat down and wrote a scary movie, I think it would be good. Like, that's just how confident I am with writing, you know, like, I've been writing my whole life, but I think if I were to sit down and be, like, so legit with writing a scary movie, honestly, I will write probably one of the best scary movies of all time. That's just how confident I am. Alright? And who knows, maybe in the future, I can, like, sit down and have this dream happen where I do write a scary movie and it's playing in theaters and stuff. But yeah, it's like movies like that, like old school movies. There's like a lot of old movies that I watch, and it was like people was just like, oh, I found them movies so scary. Like I know, my mom said she found Phantasm. That was a good classic movie. I overall like that movie. But yeah, there's like she said she found that scary. I don't think my dad. My dad, he's kind of like immune to scary stuff. Like he doesn't. I remember me and my mom jumped out and scared him one day, and I think my dad's just like, I don't know, like in his past life, like he just had to been like, my dad is a savage, but I feel like that overall, like even in his past life, all of the lives that he had, all right, like he's had to just have like a savage like lifestyle, all right, but yeah, I was like, he just, I don't know, I can't think of a scary movie he was like, it left him, like, I know he was saying they watched a scary movie, I know his uncle said, my uncle was saying that it was Evil Dead. I remember I watched that movie, and it was like, it's just jump scares, man, like, it's not one of those movies that leaves me like, oh my god, if that happened to me, like, I don't know, like, it's just, they don't do it for me and stuff, those jump scare movies, but the one movie I actually like, and it is a scary movie, is the 90s House on Haunted Hills. That's a movie where I'm like, it's good, and I can watch it like over and over and over again. But it's one of those movies where I'm like, man, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't know what to do. I would be so scared. Like I would have to say like it's scary, but also it's like it's one of those movies where it's like you can watch it and you won't be like looking around the corner unless you're like in some giant insane asylum like slash mansion. Like that'd be the only way you'll be scared if you go into a place of business like where they were at and stuff. But yeah, those but all like the other like scary movies I mentioned, like it was like Phantasm, The Exorcist, Paranormal Activities. What other scary movies? Like any scary movies where it's like they blow it up in theaters, you watch it, jump scare. Yeah, those type of movies don't do it for me. I know one movie that actually kind of left me upset, more so just how it ended, was The Forest. And it was about that suicide forest. Honestly, I feel like that they could have done that movie a lot better. Like overall, like what the storyline was, like the girl was trying to find her twin sister and she couldn't find her and things, and then got all the way to the end where she hallucinated because a ghost made her hallucinate, and then she killed herself. That made me so mad because I'm like, what ghost? And it's like I've seen so many ghost movies. What ghost roaming this earth can make a person hallucinate? That's one thing. I mean, I think there have been movies out there like that where it's like a person, they thought they saw something, but it wasn't even that. But no, they made this girl hallucinate, alright? like she was like she was really like killing the ghost or something. But what she was like, I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was sitting there cutting her wrist, and then she sunk into the ground and disappeared. And then they got focused on her twin sister, and she was like, my sister's dead. I was like, are you, no, don't, that the rest, that whole last part of the movie, that could have been taken and thrown away somewhere. They could have wrote that ending a lot better. But it was like, it could have been a good movie, but overall how they did that ending, it was like, wow, really? Like, come on now. I know there was one movie my sister was scared of, The Grudge. Like, that movie, it's a movie like we can all watch now, but when we were younger, that was like a movie where it was like, well, I don't know, it was a movie I can watch when I was younger, because overall, I didn't know what was going on. Okay, they got like a blue boy, alright, that's supposedly dead. I don't know what's going on. Then you got people making weird, like, door opening noises, like, I don't know what that's all about. But, yeah, it was like, I guess, like, yeah, it was a movie, I don't know, I just think there was more so as like, what's going on here? And I think, like, as we got older, it was just like, I don't know, I didn't find it when I was a kid. I didn't find it scary when I was a kid. I don't find it scary now. I think my sister, she doesn't find that movie scary anymore. But I know, like, the movies that I found scary, Signs, The Visit, and Annabelle Creation. So let me start off with The Visit. Okay, I'm gonna start off with that movie, because that's one of those movies where, like, if you were put in that situation, wow, I'm swinging on some people, because the mom she didn't drop the kids off, she sent the kids to her quote-unquote grandparents, or to their quote-unquote grandparents, and so, yeah, she sends them there. The grandparents are acting weird throughout the whole movie, but then it got to a point in time where I was like, wow, plot twist for real. So the mom is all like, well, let me see what they're doing. What are they doing right now? Because the kids are talking to her all like, yo, grandma and grandpa, they acting weird, all right? They doing some wild stuff right now, and I don't trust them. They didn't say those exact words, but they were just like, they were overall saying that, yeah, they crazy and stuff. But so the mom was all like, she was like, she was Skyping with them, or like she was doing a video chat thing with them. And the mom was all like, oh, let me see them. So the kids, like, took the laptop and focused on the grandparents. The words that the mom said, that's when it would have just, because these kids was over there for some time. Like, they were sleeping in this house with these people. And that's what, like, put fear in my eyes when the mom said, those aren't your grandparents. Like, when I watched that part, even now, I'm like, I gotta take breathers, like, just repeating those words, because let's say that had been me and my sister, the next scene would have just cut to that door just busting open with whatever sneakers that I was wearing, running as fast as I can. Yes, there was snow out there for those that have seen the movie. Yes, there was snow. I don't care about that. Like, at that point in time, you just can't chase fear. So I would imagine, yeah, they're old people. You really think they're gonna chase me? Come on now, like, be real. Like, if they were like maybe like 30s, 40s maybe, then they can probably put up a good run. But no, they were like 60 and 70 possibly, all right, maybe, I don't know, but they were definitely like, they were old. And I just found like, nope. I'm like, I looked at my sister, I'm like, Nikki, you can stay here if you want to, but I'm running, and I'm getting as far away from this house as I possibly can. You really think they're gonna chase me? Alright? All of the water, the Red Bull, okay, that I drink, and that's just like that, and then like the fear that I'm gonna have running through my body. Do you think I'm going to stay in this house any longer? Hand me my Jordans, please. Like, I'm not staying in this house anymore. But that movie, that was like one of those movies. And then they were just like, the kids, I don't know what the kids was thinking. That's why I'm like, kids in scary movies, they don't even be thinking. But anyways, they decide, oh no, we're gonna be all like, try to reason with them or like do some stuff. Overall, they stayed there. It was like daytime when the mom told them that. They did like, yeah, nothing, or they decided that they were gonna do stuff at night. And so I was like, they were going to expose the fake grandparents at night. But yeah, I was like, that's just dumb. Like, why are y'all still there? Like, y'all are kids. You guys can run. They are old people. They can't run, okay, unless they want to pull something. But yeah, it's like, I'm not, no disrespect to old people, but I'm just saying, like, they're not going to chase you guys. Like, they just, no. They're like, call the cops. Or I think, yeah, the mom called the cops. But yeah, it's like, just, no, leave the house. Like, there's just no reason for you guys to be there. But yeah, that movie left some fear in my eyes, because I'm like, well, man, what if that does happen to me? I'm like, well, I mean, I seen my granddads before, so I know what they look like. But I'm like, I don't know, like, if they like say like, oh, your relatives like meeting up with you, and then it's just some random person that's like, them all like, oh, like, you're my cousin, right? And then they're all like, yeah, but really there's some escaped murderer from a nut house. No, can't have it. So yeah. That's the type of stuff where I'm like, no, I need to see pictures. I need other people to be there present that have so-called seen this family member that I haven't seen before. I need people to be there and stuff. So, yeah, that movie was scary. Signs, that was the movie that did it for me as a kid. I couldn't watch that movie up until I was in middle school. I think I was 13 or 14 when I watched that movie again. That movie came out in like 2002, 2003. So I was like, I think I was either 6, 7. I can't remember how old I was at the time, but yeah, I couldn't watch that movie. It was like that movie just straight up put fear in my eyes. Like, I was like, I can't do this. Why would y'all put me in this situation? Like, no, I can't watch this movie. But no, it was so the scene that did it for me in that movie that just like I couldn't watch it anymore. So they showed the scene where the guy was he was watching like a YouTube. Well, no, YouTube wasn't even out then, but he was watching a video online. And it was like showing the alien sightings at this some random kid's birthday party. So in the video that the guy was watching, you see an alien do the most like alien creepy walk. All right, was walk like right past the cameras. I couldn't watch that scene. Like, I remember like my like parents would try to watch that movie. I would just leave the room. Like, as a kid, like, you can only go so far. So yeah, I would just like, I don't know. I didn't know where I would go, but I just like, I can't watch this movie. I'll close my eyes, I'll do something, but I just can't watch that part of the movie. And yeah, then it got to the end where like the aliens surrounded the house. And then they showed the scene where like the alien grabbed the boy's like neck. It was through this like gate. You couldn't even see the alien, but you can see the alien's hands, and it like grabbed the boy's neck and was like, I don't know, tried to choke him, do something. But no, then there was another scene like before that, and I think it was before the, well, no, it might be, I can't remember when. I need to watch that movie again. It's movies that I can watch, but I was just like, I can't remember because it's been so long since I've seen them. Signs, I think I seen that movie maybe the beginning of the year. That was the last time I watched it. But at some point in time in the movie, continuing on, they show where Mel Gibson, I think, yeah, it was Mel Gibson. He, I was like, I forgot his name for a second, but he was trying to like see this alien in the door, so the alien stuck its fingers out. That scared me, and he chopped the alien's fingers, and I was like, man, that's stuff like that. I wouldn't even want to be in the same house. Like, no, I can't do that. I can't go in that house. I'm like, I'm gonna need other people to be there with me. I can't go in that house by myself. But then the like very end, when then there's like they showed the alien, it was holding the boy. For some odd reason, that was one thing I never understood about that movie. The boy had asthma. Why do they have to have people like having asthma in movies? Even in the Goonies, like the Goonies ain't a scary movie, so why am I bringing that up? But yeah, the boy had asthma in there. In Signs, the boy had really bad asthma because he had an asthma attack and almost died in the middle of an alien invasion. And I'm like, that's not the time. Like, I know I sound insensitive, but it's like, bro, it's not the time to have an asthma attack. It's just not, no, it's not right now. After, whenever you want to, please feel free, but just not right now when we're killing aliens. Once again, that is very insensitive, but bro, come on, look at the situation right now. Okay, look, do you want to kill aliens or you want to have an asthma attack? Like, sit down and think about that one. But anyways, the boy had an asthma attack. The boy overall survived and stuff, but yeah, that movie was just overall creepy. I couldn't watch that movie. I actually had nightmares about that movie, and that's why I couldn't watch it anymore. Like, I remember I watched it, I was just like, oh wow, cool. But then once I had nightmares, I'm like, I can't watch this. And that's why I remember my mom asked me, like, why was I scared of that movie? And this was my answer. This was my legit answer. They didn't have any guns in there. And I was like, and that's when I knew, like, in an alien invasion, I need a gun. And I don't know, people talking about they want to go to Area 51 and see them aliens and stuff. What if they're like the ones in the movie Aliens or Signs or any other crazy alien movie where they're out killing humans? Okay, they ain't out here to try to like make memes and all this other stuff that people out here doing and stuff. Like, that's what they all like. September 20th, they talking about raiding Area 51 to see them aliens. Nope, I'm staying right at home, okay? Any friends invite me, I'm like, why am I going to Area 51? Like, I don't need to, if they don't want us there, then there ain't no reason for me to be there. So, yeah, I'm like, me and aliens, like, nah. Unless they cool, then that's alright. But, yeah, I was like, in that movie, they ain't have any guns. You did not hear one gun go off throughout that whole movie. In any other alien movie, you be seeing them shooting at the aliens, like that movie Aliens. Like, Alien Resurrection is my all-time favorite Aliens, but overall, like, just throughout that whole series, they were shooting them aliens. And the Signs, they threw water and swung bats at it and cut their fingers with knives. What's that gonna do for me? That's like, and that's the whole thing where it's like, you gotta get up close and personal with this alien to kill it in Signs. All them other movies, I could be at distance and shoot them aliens. So that's why I was just all like, no, like, I don't want to get up close to this alien and stuff. Like, I can't do it. I just can't. So that's a no for me. I'm like, yeah, I need a gun in a situation like that. That's what I'm like, I wouldn't even want to put myself in a situation like that. So, yeah, that movie, Signs, it did it for me. Annabelle Creation. Now, Annabelle Creation had its, like, jump scare parts. But no, overall, that was a scary movie. Like, what they had going on, like, I had to say it was, like, the ending that did it for me. Like, that's where it's like, they showed this scene. I don't know whether it was a demon or a devil, but it was upside down with his arms out, okay? Like, and it was like in a form of a cross, but it was upside down and it was levitating down, like chasing this girl. They showed that part and I was like, oh my goodness, what is that? Like, why would they show that? Why would they have me like looking around like, all right, if I need to swing on something, I will. I'm like, this will turn from Annabelle Creation to a World Star Hip Hop video. Like, I will swing on something if I need to. But yeah, that was like that was a good movie. Like, Annabelle, like, that whole series is good. Like, but it's one of those movies where it's all like, they got jump scares, but overall the story and stuff, like, I do like the story and things to it. Like, I think that it's overall good. But, yeah, all those, like, jump scares that they be having, that's why I don't find the movies scary, but I do like them. I really do like them. It's one of those movies where it's all like, you can watch them numerous times. Like, it's movies where I've seen all of them except the last one in theaters and stuff. I'm actually waiting for that to come out on cable so I can watch it, but anyways, yeah, because I just don't like going to the theaters and jumping every 5 minutes because they want to have loud score music going off. But, yeah, I was like, those are some good movies. I had to, like, write those down because I wanted to, well, actually, no, I didn't write them down. I had to think about them and things, but I was like, okay, I can't forget about them. But I did write down some stuff, all right, for this podcast I would like to talk about. One thing for sure is scary movies not being realistic. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about was, like, the whole reason why I wrote that down, because there's things that happen in scary movies where it's like, okay, you see, like, when people go through a haunted house, and you know that's how they overall will react. They're running through the house, screaming, trying to leave and stuff, hurry up and get out and stuff. Like, if you go to, to Universal Studios during Halloween, you'll see how people really are versus how people are portrayed in, like, these scary movies. Like the one movie, House of Wax, Paris Hilton and stuff, and her boyfriend. How they both died, it was like, are y'all serious? Like, the guy, he decides, oh, I'm gonna go out and investigate, be the big, strong man, you know, try to take down the murderer, man, and stuff. Like, no, don't do that, okay? Like, you need to, first off, you need a weapon. Second, you need to scout the place, or like, yeah, scout the place and see what's surrounding you, because you don't know what's out there. Okay, third, did I say don't investigate? Yeah, don't investigate. I might have said that already. I don't know. But, like, yeah, you don't need to be out there, first off, okay? Soon as I just seen that stuff wasn't, like, acting right, like, even in the beginning of the movie, trucks driving up on them. Then it's all like, then the man was like surrounded by, or yeah, it was like a bunch of roadkill like area, and it was like that whole movie, like how those guys died. I'm like, you guys don't like just it was a good movie. House of Wax is a good movie and stuff, but I was like, you guys, like, and then Paris Hilton, she like, oh, let me run around and hide in cars and stuff. No, what you need to do is find an area where you could just run and keep on running. Like, you got fear running through your body. Like, scary murder man ain't gonna chase fear. Fear is like unlimited. Like, you can do everything. You pretty much have superpowers when you're in fear. Okay. Because I know when I went to Universal Studios, I'm going to tell you guys why, like, fear ran through my body at this moment. But anyways, I'm at Universal Studios, and we were, like, going through this Purge maze. So, for those that have seen the movie The Purge, those movies ain't, people, I wouldn't really consider that, like, a scary thing. So, why they had that going on, I don't know. But they had, like, a Purge maze that you go through. It wasn't really a maze. It was mainly just a little road thing in Universal Studios that you just walk down. Like, you ain't gonna get like lost in things. But anyways, yeah, so it was me and my mom. I don't even know where my sister was at, but me and my mom, we were like walking side by side with each other, and we were kind of by this wall. Next thing you know, the doors bust open. Okay, these guys with chainsaws and everything came flying out. Scared me, alright, and I was just so like, I don't even know what's happening. And it was like, I think it was the smoke from the chainsaw that scared me. But I remember my mom like tried to hide behind me and stuff, and she grabbed a hold of my arm. Seriously, I ripped my arm from her hands and I ran as fast as I could. Gone. Left the area. Okay, it got to the point where I was running so fast, I ran up with these kids that I didn't even know and stuff. Like, I remember I was in line with them in the one part of the park, but yeah, I was gone. I was out of there. I was like, I can't be out here and stuff. And see, that's why I'm like, one thing in scary movies, when they like have black people betrayed in there and they always get killed and stuff, that's why I'm like, are y'all serious? Like, why do they have to die? And they're the ones that's like, there's one scary movie that I've seen, and that's how black people are, okay? That's how black people are in scary movies. It's this old 80s movie called Night of the Demons. Funny movie, pretty good, but they showed how this guy who was acting, he was this black guy. First, he was all like, no, I'm gonna just stay in the car. But then he heard some stuff going on, and he ran in the house with his friends. So that's a smart thing to do, all right? That's one thing that you want to do. When you start hearing things in them scary movies, when the person starts hearing things, they need to be with their friends. They don't need to be running around or walking around with a flashlight like, hello? Is anybody out there? Can somebody can you help me? My car broke down. And then they get killed. They get their head chopped off. See, that's the stuff where I'm like, well, they made the mistake by going out there and investigating. But no, so in that movie, Night of the Demons, so yeah, he's with his friends at all time. But there is this one scene that made me laugh so much when I seen that movie when I was watching it. So the guy, it was him and his friend, they were getting ready to get ambushed. And the girl was all like, what do we do? What do we do? And he was just like, you won't get me. Sprints as fast as he could and did a barrel roll out this window and was gone. And then they show the part where it was like this barbed wire rope thing, and he had to like climb it. He's like stabbing his hands, messing his hands all up and things. He overall saved his friend. I'm like, okay, that's pretty heroic. But he lived all the way up like until the end of the movie. Well, I mean, he didn't die at the end of the movie. I mean, the ending of the movie was pretty crazy too. But he lived. And I'm like, that's what black people are in those movies. That's what we need. We need more of him. Okay, we need more of that guy. Because I'm saying, if I'm like doing a scary movie and they're all like, okay, so your character goes out and investigates, big monster man comes out, bites his head off. I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. Do I run, or am I like, what happened? Like, explain. They were like, oh, well, you stand there in shock of seeing the big monster man. I'm like, okay, well, time out on that part. I'm not going to see the big monster man and allow him to bite my head off. once when I hear that noise, because knowing he's gonna be making a noise, he ain't gonna just sneak up on me in silence. Like these, I don't know why they be making these like dudes in these horror movies like straight up ninjas or something where you can't hear them. But yeah, I'm like, first off, but yeah, if they have me doing a scary movie, I'm like, I'm not just gonna let somebody walk up on me. When I see who I'm dealing with, I'm either going to, if I think I can handle this fight, then I'm like, all right. But if I know that they just killed everybody around me, I'm not gonna be that heroic person, try to figure out a plan and do some Home Alone stuff and set them up in booby traps. No, I am running until I find people. Okay, but no, I take that back. Last time something like that happened, those people, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The girl, she was running around. She was actually smart, but she was running around. She was just running. It was like she just kept running in a circle pretty much because everybody she came across, they were all bad people until it was like the very end. But yeah, it's like at that, I'm like, I don't know. I can't trust anybody until we all like team up as a group and take out this big monstrous murder man, whatever you want to call it and things. But yeah, it's movies like Friday the 13th where it's all like they just show how unrealistic this stuff is. I remember that first Friday the 13th, and I know everybody's gonna be all like oh, well, it was Jason. Like, of course you're gonna be scared and stuff. No, so for those that haven't seen the first Friday the 13th, overall, Jason, I don't even think they showed him throughout that movie. I think it was the second one, that's when they showed him. But no. The murderer in Friday the 13th still shocks me was his mom, which was a 50, 60-year-old woman. She killed all of the teenagers throughout that movie. And you know, like in those movies when they be showing teenagers, they're not all scrawny looking like they can't fight, they can't defend themselves. No, these are like some 6'1", 200-pound guys. Like, these guys can put up a fight. But no, instead, they get killed by the 50, 60-year-old woman. And they showed, there is a scene in that movie where the lady, the teenage girl, she kept getting slapped around and all that stuff, just allowing the old woman to just pretty much just beat on her and things. But then it got to the point where she like chopped her head off. The teenager girl chopped the old lady's head off. But yeah, I was like, you mean it's really? Like, please have it. I hope they contact me for a movie like this, because I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do this movie, you're gonna have to rewrite it. Because it's like, if everybody else is going to be getting slapped around, I know I have to be that one friend that stands up and fight. Like, she going to have to, like, if they decide to do a remake of Friday the 13th and then they have me and the old lady, like, match up, I'm like, okay, so at some point in time, I am going to have to swing on her. Because if she's chasing me with an axe, or with a machete, I will try to dodge it. But it's like she's going to get swung on. Like, I'm sorry, but that's like, I know, like, don't hit women and stuff. But if they just killed my friends and they're trying to kill me, all things are out the window at that point. Like, especially in the Friday the 13th situation. So, yeah, it was like that. But it's just like, when they just do that in movies, they just make it so unrealistic. I'm like, y'all serious? Like, none of those, like, ain't nobody survived. And the 60-year-old woman killed them all. Great. Like, that's just great. That's why I'm like, with some of those movies, I get mad. Because I'm like, are you serious? Like, swing on them. Like, do something, man. Defend yourself. But no, they're all like, no, I gotta fall down. I gotta trip over a branch. I gotta scream because the monstrous murder lady, she's gonna kill me and things. There is one movie where it was like that, and it's like, I don't like, do their ankle break? Like, what's wrong with it? Because me, I'm like, I don't care if I just tripped over something. There's times where I have tripped over things. I get right back up and I continue doing what I'm doing, but no, it was this one movie called The Empire of the Ants, and the lady, she tripped and fell, and it was like these like giant like ants. The ants was like the size of a, like, I don't know, like a Fiat 500 or something, or Mini Cooper and things, and they were like pretty big and stuff. But no, they were so the girl, she trips and fall, and her husband's like thinking like, oh, should I go back and save her? But the husband was like cheating on the woman and stuff. He was like, oh, should I go back and save her, or should I just continue on running with everybody? And so she's laying down on the ground like, oh, help me, please help me. And I'm like, get up. Like, I don't know, like at that point in time, I probably would have been screaming and yelling at her. I probably would have cussed her out and been like, are you serious? Like, you just trip and fall. I'm like, oh, I can no longer run anymore. Like, lady, you didn't break your ankle. You tripped and fell. okay, which means that you just had an embarrassing moment in your life. That doesn't mean that your body stops working. Like, that's the type of, I'm like, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, the guy, it was messed up, though. The guy didn't even go back and save his wife. It was his wife. And, yeah, I was like, man, that's just wrong. Like, that's just straight up wrong and stuff. And it was like the ants was so far away, but then they walked up and killed her and things. And I was like, that man, like, first off, she could have got up. Second, the man could have went back and saved her. So she could have lived overall. They just, yeah, I guess it was meant for her character to get written off and things. But, yeah. I was like, it's movies, like, when they're unrealistic, I don't know. It's funny. But then it's also upsetting that why did this happen? Like, why? What was going on with this picture here? So, anyways, yeah, that was. I can't think of anything else to talk about with scary movies. Overall, scary movies, they're not scary. Like, if it's like one of those like naturally scared, has you looking around the corner type movies, then okay, then it's scary. But if it's like a movie where it's like I know if the movies that I named off and people say that they found them scary or they didn't find them scary. If it was like a movie that I found scary that they didn't find scary, then that's just preferences. You know, that's just one thing that should be established. It's just preferences. But if it's like a movie that leaves you like naturally scared, like, okay, I'm in fear right now. Like, and I remember I watched that movie, The Visit, Annabelle Creation, like not too long ago. And Signs I watched as a kid. Overall, you're gonna have like that one movie that does scare you as a kid and stuff, but I don't know. There's like a lot of movies that I watched back when I was a kid I didn't find scary. It was just Signs I had nightmares about, and that was like the movie that scared me and things. But it's more of a preference thing. I don't know. There's probably people that find the one movie that's not like just scary at all, like the scariest movie of all time and stuff. I know movies that you probably won't find scary are sci-fi movies. Those are the movies where it's all like, okay, well, this stuff is just, I don't like when they be, I don't know, movies where it's like, it's just nothing but teenagers, they just like having sex, and then all of a sudden, then that's when the monstrous stuff starts happening, and like halfway through the movie, I'm like, no, the monstrous stuff needs to start happening in the beginning, okay? And whatever they decide, well, no, it's like beginning all the way to the end. But Night of the Demons, that was one thing I didn't really like for that, like about that movie. It was like, I remember I watched that movie as a kid, and so obviously, like when any of those like sex scenes come up, and I'm like constantly getting told to cover my eyes or turn my head. I'm like, man, when are they gonna get on with the movie and stuff? Like, I'm tired of all this turning head stuff. But anyways, yeah, when they be doing all of that, I'm like, man, come on now. Like, y'all need to stop and like have us like start having an action what we came here for. Like, we didn't come here for this unless you a pervert. But anyways, yeah, I feel like I'd said everything I need to say about scary movies and stuff. If you find movies scary, then that's on you. But if other people don't find it scary, then that's on them. All right, so anyways, that has been another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you're watching this on. Shout out to everybody that is supporting the podcast. I really appreciate it. I've wrote down pretty much everything that I was going to talk about for this season. I started writing down stuff for season 2, which is going to happen right after season 1. It's like I'm not going to take any breaks with it. Right after season 1 ends, season 2 will begin. There ain't going to be like no waiting months and stuff. Like, no, you guys are going to be watching this stuff constantly, all right? I'm going to try and make it a daily thing, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And for those watching it on YouTube, hopefully you enjoyed this video. For those listening to it on Spotify or any other streaming podcast platform, thank you for listening. Hopefully you follow, subscribe, whichever you do. Just come back for the next episode, please. All right. So, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening/watching, and peace.